So I'm Colleen Swanzey. I live in New Jersey, but I'm passionate about SEO and helping TPT sellers. I made, oh sorry, I made SellerSpy specifically for TPT sellers because I saw there was a gap in the market. I have about 20 years experience in marketing and sales, really specializing in SEO, digital marketing, data analysis. I started selling on TPT. It was 2021, like the very, very end of it. I have four little girls, married here in New Jersey, and like I said, I started SellerSpy because I'll tell you a story in a second. But I was like, I need a keyword research tool for this thing. I need to see what I can do, and I couldn't find anything at the time. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll just make it myself. Because kids, I have all that time. Um, but uh, but really what I wanted to talk about today is just the TPT algorithm, our assumptions about it, why keyword selection matters so much. And I'm going to tell you a very personal, embarrassing story. And then just I'll show you like how I go about finding the best keywords for my products. Because one of the big things I hope you guys take away from this is that it's not about optimizing for a keyword, it's really optimizing for the right keywords. It's so easy to be like, oh, well, this is optimized. I'm not getting views. Why am I not getting sales? But it might not be the best keyword for your product for a multitude of reasons. So I'm going to show you. Actually, I went into your group, Chris, and there was someone who asked a question, and I was able to kind of pull up her store. And she reached out to me before I was able to reach out to her. And I was able to go through this whole process it's kind of, I'll share some results. I was kind of excited about it. So without further ado, so the TPT algorithm, like all search engines, we have no idea really what is going behind the scenes, but based on other search engines and based on what we know from our own previous experience and current experience, we can assume some things, right? And that's what's going to guide all of our optimization efforts. So we can assume the following play into our ranking. So it's keywords in the title, specifically keywords in the title. That is probably one of the biggest ranking factors. Keywords in the description and the snippet, that first section of the description that shows in the search results. And then also conversion and rating, we believe plays a role in ranking. And if you think about it, it makes sense that higher converting products or products that have more ratings are going to be ranking higher, because while TPT is all about helping teachers, it's also about making money. It's a business. It's in their best interest to have the best products and the highest converting products at the top of their rankings. So these are kind of the assumptions that I go with when I'm optimizing my products, when I'm helping others optimize their products. While they're all assumptions, since nobody knows for sure, these are pretty much, I mean, I don't think any of these are, shouldn't be huge news for anybody, right? These are kind of what everyone says. So I want to talk about why, keyword selection can really impact your store. And this is really kind of why I started SellerSpy. And it's really embarrassing. So I started selling at the end of 2021, 2022. I had like just a few of my products on. I started with, we were talking about it earlier. I'm a troop leader. I'm a Girl Scout troop leader for my oldest daughter. And it was like, we were going into brownies and I had no idea what to do. I'm a leader. I'm like, I got to figure out how to lead this troop on this stuff. So I started, if I didn't know how to do it, I knew other people didn't. And it felt so complicated. So I started a website called troopleaderhub.com, and I created these booklets for troop leaders to save time and effort, because most of us are busy moms with lots of kids and we don't have time to lesson plan for Girl Scouts. And Girl Scouts doesn't really help out. The organization doesn't help too much. So anyway, so I have a website, and I heard other people were selling on TPT. I was like, oh, throw up some products there, see what happens. And I was making like $20, $50 a month, and I was really excited. And I was like, oh, this is great. Just from very little effort throwing them up there. So when I was like, oh, maybe I should put a little bit more effort into it, right? And I've been making money for about a year on it. And I go and I'm like, okay, let's see what I can do to make it better. And I realized I forgot to put the word Girl Scouts in my titles, and I was so embarrassed. Like, so I had like brownie first aid badge, but I forgot to even just use the word Girl Scouts. I was missing one of the most important keywords. And that keyword alone would have gotten me so much more traffic and so many more views. And it's just a really good example, while it might be an extreme example, but it's a good example about, getting you need the right keywords in front of, in your titles to get in front of your audience. So that's my lovely embarrassing story. But I'll show you the results. You can see, like, here's where I figured it out. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And these are just like the 9 products I had, and just like the trajectory since then, since just adding that that keyword. And I'm just gonna compare these two, similar month segments of 5 months. And I went from averaging $27 a month to averaging $95 a month. So it's like an increase of views of 278%, and then increase my earnings on these products 250%. So it's a small, very niche store, but you can see how if you apply it to a larger set, making sure you have the right keywords, you can really make a difference. So that is kind of like the behind the scenes of why I started SellerSpy. But just looking at this, I was looking at this yesterday, and I was like, this is also a good example of just, we think about ranking and conversion, and sales as being a factor, and it plays into the idea, or it proves the idea that TPT is a long game. It's not a get rich quick scheme. So these are the same 9 products, and because they started selling more often, they continue to sell more and make more money for me, as time goes on. So it's also a nice little proof that I do think that sales and conversion history on your products does play a little bit into your ranking and future performance. So, do you guys have any questions before I go forward? I don't know if you want me to just keep going. All right, cool. So I want to talk about tips for selecting your keywords, and I have like an example, and I think this is kind of good because sometimes, people talk about in theory, like to do this, but I wanted to show you guys like a practical example. So this is actually from yesterday. And again, just, it's not about optimizing for, whatever keyword you pick out. It's optimizing for the best keywords. So there's a woman, Tiara, she posted, how long does it take for you guys to get your first sale on a paid product? Because she hasn't had any sales yet. I think she has like 4 products. And so I just decided to dive in, and I pulled up one of her products, and I was like, oh, I sometimes I expect to see like no keyword optimization, but I was really impressed by her listing. I thought the title, she was using her characters in her title. She would have relevant keywords in there. Her product description was optimized. She's got nice product images and product preview. It was checking all the boxes where this is an optimized listing, but she's not getting any views and no sales. Excuse me. So it was kind of like, okay, well, why? Why is this going on? So I researched. I said, okay, well, math flashcards is her #1 keyword. Let's go take a look at it. I always use either the TPT search bar to see if the keyword's popular, or I use SellerSpy. This is one of the tools in there to see if it's popular. And it's like, oh yeah, math flashcards is popular. Obviously, this is pretty common term. But then I looked at the competition, and she's competing with 61,000 listings on TPT. So like, she's not going to get the views. She's optimized for a term that a few people are searching, but tens of thousands of people are optimized for. So, I went in and decided to look at, okay, well, what are the other keywords she's optimized for? And all of them are high competition. So while she understood SEO and got it that she needed to optimize all these things, she was just missing the mark as far as what to optimize for to get the views. So this is actually from one of our tools. It's called the Title Analyzer. You put a title in, and it spits out every single keyword that it's optimized for, along with how popular they are and how many products is in your competition. So every single one of these, few people searching or a lot of people searching, but a lot of competition. So really what it comes down to, what should she do? And my tip for the seller was really, okay, you need to mix up your keywords. You need variations in what you're targeting, um, because otherwise you're not going to get seen. So obviously you want to go after something that's extremely popular and low competition, which is like a unicorn keyword, which, I mean, there are some, um, but fewer and far between. Um, there's moderately popular seasonal keywords that are also low competition that are great. You could even pepper in moderately popular seasonal with moderate competition. And like my whole store is actually built on low competition and not very popular. And you can still make good money, but it's about optimizing for those where you'll get those product views. So what I did was, and I'm going to show you step by step what I did for her last night. But this is how I find the right keywords for my title, which will, start impacting my views and sales. So the first is making a comprehensive list, and like a really comprehensive list. I write down everything, every word or phrase I could use to describe my product. I put in grade, subject, resource type, and obviously ignoring all cutesy phrases or personal words that we use to describe our own products. But so I make a huge list, and that's what I did with her. I mean, I did have a little bit of a starting point with hers, but I was like, okay, I was looking at her description, pulling out whatever words I could find that described her product. After that, I pretty much researched each word on the list, and I went through and kind of like I showed you with the math flashcards, I went in and I went to see how popular each were and how competitive each of them were. And for this, like, you can use the TPT search bar, you can use the TPT search results to see how many results show up, or something like SellerSpy, because it'll, make it a lot faster. But I did that for a ton of keywords. And I just made a list: keyword, competition, popularity. Now, the only caveat is that when you make your list, especially if you're working during the summer months, if you're relying on the TPT search bar, or even my free tool, is that it's all based on current popularity, not the popularity throughout the year. So that's really tough. I mean, I'm sure all of us are working on our stores this summer because that's when we have the most time. But that makes keyword research a little difficult because not as many buyers are searching, or they, might not be till later. So that's just something to keep in mind in this step, where a tool that has more of like a year view can come in handy. So I wanted to, well, I was going to show you, if it's okay, I'll show you just the free tool. And this is a free tool. Let me see if I can do this out. You guys see SellerSpy right here? Cool. So this is a free tool. You can sign up for it for free. And this actually kind of plays off the TPT search bar. So it's kind of like, I like to call it like TPT search bar and crack. Like math flashcards. So this is essentially what I did last night. Come on. So it'll give you suggested keywords, the popularity, and the number of products. And then from there, like, that's how I, would find new ones. And I would just, make more lists and more lists and more lists. So that's one way. But again, this is only based on what's popular right now. After I did all my analysis, this is what I ended up for Tiara's product. So I had math flashcards, number sense fluency, which I really liked. There's, it has some popularity with lower competition, not super low, but lower. Number flashcards printable. And this was where I was like, that's the one I'm going to go after. Number flashcards printable. It's got 22, almost 2,300 products, but it's got good, nice sizable popularity. So really, but I'm gathering data at this point, right? I'm gathering data, I'm researching each one. Now I'm going to narrow down my list. So now that I have all my data, now I'm going to say, okay, let's sort out, what is it? something from the chaff, the wheat from the chaff. I don't know. I'm making it something like that, right? Um, so when you narrow down your list, you're going to put them in three buckets: popular and low competition, popular and medium competition, and then other. So that's what I did. This is my little template. Um, and then I just bucketed them all. So here I had number flashcards printable, which I really liked. It had some popularity, less than 2,500 products. I had popular with some competition, number sense fluency, and then I had a bunch of these. And there were a bunch more that I had on my list, but this is just, for example. And your buckets might different, as you look at your store and how, the age of your store and your products, you might have ratings on them, or you might be able to go after a keyword that might be a little bit more competitive. But for this case, it's a brand new store and a brand new product. So going after those really low competition will give her a better chance to rank and get those product views. So now that I narrowed down my list, now it's the fun part where you craft a title, right? And I mean, it can be fun, but also daunting. I think a lot of people get a little hung up sometimes, but I like to kind of approach it with use at least one keyword from column 1 and or 2. You make sure that your title accurately reflects your product, and you try not to keyword stuff, right? And really, I just play around with a few different options. So these are the options that I played around with for her. So I knew I wanted number flashcards printable because that was the lowest competition I thought she could rank for it. And then number sense fluency, and then I added number sense fluency activities. I was playing around with different ones. So I usually write a few different ones, and then I figure out which ones I like best. And I do have like a tool that I created, and this one isn't free, so just caveat, but it's a title analyzer tool, and like I said before, you put the title in, and it will spit out every single keyword found in that title. So this is the number flashcards printable, number sense fluency activities, math centers. So I kind of run this analysis on the title. It's using almost all the characters. It includes a resource and a subject. We found 13 known TPT keywords. 3 were highly competitive, 9 were moderate, 1 was low. And this is the breakdown. So you can see how, like, I was playing around with different options, and I liked this one the best just because of the mix of moderate, low, and high. I felt like I couldn't find any other low ones, but I felt like this was the best one. And I think from the earlier version of hers with the math flashcards, I think she had like 6 high competitive and 8 moderate and no low. So it was like super high, highly competitive. So this gives her a better chance at ranking. Go back in here. So, and then the last tip action item is just adding your keywords to your snippet and your description. So after you know the keywords you're going after, is just making sure that you're putting them in your description. Definitely put your priority one in that snippet, but then use variations and naturally throughout the rest of the description. So this is, like I just showed you, this is what we ended up with: number flashcards printable, number sense fluency activities, math centers. And I was like really excited because here, I'll show you. I know I'm jumping around, so I hope no one's getting whiplash, but I pulled them. So I was messaging her with you yesterday. She ended up updating it last night. And then for number flashcards printable, I think she was at the second page. Middle of the second page. Yep, there she is now. She's in the middle of the second page for this new keyword that she's targeting, number flashcards printable. And then for number sense fluency activities, she's, I think, number 19. So yeah, she's not ranking for like math flashcards like she originally wanted, but I think these are better keywords to get her visibility. But actually, I believe it was number flashcards printable has a higher a higher search, a higher popularity than her original keyword. So I was pretty happy, and she's going to keep me updated. So if I hear anything good, I'll let you guys know. So just jumping back in, just, to recap, these are the steps that I go through when I'm looking for the right keywords is, making that list of all possible keywords, avoiding those cutesy words, and really just doing a complete brain dump. Researching each of the keywords for popularity and competition. It can be time consuming, but it really pays dividends in the end. Writing the titles that use popular keywords with lower competition. So really making sure those first two, you have something in those first two columns when you're doing that spreadsheet, just making sure that you're giving yourself the best chance of success there. Oops, this one. And then using those same keywords in the snippet and then throughout the rest of the description. So that's pretty much how I approach things. And so far it's been working for me. I have my Troop Leader store, but actually when I started SellerSpy, I was like, you know what, I kind of want to start something from scratch that shows people like how to do it and create products and do this research on new products to show people. So I have a site called a store called Joyful Mysteries where I sell products for like Catholic kids, and that's and I've been able to rank stuff, in a day, getting sales in a day, in 2 days. Again, they're niche, but there's making money, and that's, when you compound that, that's really where it matters. So that's it, and I know I showed you part of the keyword generator. This is the free tool on SellerSpy. It's got a ton of value for free, so I highly recommend it, and it saves a lot of time. But then we also have the 7-day free trial of our other tools, which would be the title analyzer. We have keyword insights, so any keyword you could pop in your head, you could search for and kind of get some analysis. And then we have something called the Keyword Explorers, where we do have like a 12-month rolling view of keyword popularity and competition. And I think we're so close to 70,000 keywords in that database that you can search, which is, you can just find gold in there, any day, and filter and stuff. So, and there's a 7-day free trial. So
that was my first question, was what part of this is available to everyone for free? And then my second question is, can you show us some of these features?
Sure. Yeah, of course. I would love to.
Isn't it the rank checker tool is free?
So yeah, and actually, so I'm working on so I will kind of give a little bit of a caveat. I am, just because it costs money to run it. I will be kind of limiting the free searches soon. Like right now it's unlimited. You can search as many times as you want, but I'm probably going to limit it to 5 a day just to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there'll be like a small, like if you want to get unlimited searches, it'd be a small subscription. Who wants to give me a keyword?
Fractions. I don't know. Work activity. I'm gonna
do something a little more. So Keyword Insights is the best tool for when it's like not showing up in the TPT search bar. So I'm gonna do fractions, activities, middle school. Do you even do fractions in middle school? Yes.
Yeah.
Right. It's been a while since I've been in middle school. So what this does is it analyzes the first page of TPT. It looks at the first page results and it says, okay, we have 48,000 listings. What's the average number of ratings for the first page? Oh, we got huge ones down here. What's the average price for each product on the first page? So it's going to be like a pricing tool, like a competition tool. It could help you with optimization here, where it's like, okay, well, the other sellers on this page, what other words are they using? For helping you craft up your title. So middle school math, fractions, activities, school, bundle, game. So that's what this tool is. It's extremely helpful if a keyword doesn't show up anywhere else, if it's never showing up in the TPT search. So that's what the Keyword Insights tool is. Keyword Explorer is my favorite tool. And it's going to get even better in a few weeks. So let's look at so fractions, middle school. Well, yeah, let's just start with fractions. It's this one's better to start with like 1 or 2 word phrases. So this searches the entire database. So you can see like there's a lot of keywords I have with the word fractions, and these are all TPT recognized. You hit filter and you can say, okay, I only want it with, you know, oh, nothing. Oh, no, here we go. Okay. So these are all the keywords that have a competition of less than 2,500 products. So dividing fractions on a number line, fractions on a number line game. I'm currently adding trends. So it'll show you, so this is the average popularity. In a few weeks, when you click here, if you have access, you'd be able to see what the popularity is month over month to see, okay, is that seasonal? Is that consistent? That kind of stuff. You can see how, before creating a product, you can really see, okay, I'm going to place something on this because I know I'm going to make money on this, and I have good content that I can easily create a product for. That's Keyword Explorer. It's about 70,000 keywords right now. Keyword Generator is the free tool we talked about. Title Analyzer, this is the tool we also went over. Product Idea Generator, so this is like so let's do fractions. It's an AI, so I have 2 AI tools. It's the Product Idea Generator and the Description Generator. I will be updating these. I think they can be a little bit better, but what this one does is you put in a keyword and it's going to give you 5 product ideas for you to kind of think about a jumping off point. Like if you're stuck, like, I don't know what to make. I don't know I don't have any ideas right now. So this is like kind of like to kickstart your creativity. Image reviewer. So this is helpful if you maybe aren't the best graphic designer, or you need ideas for what to put on your product images. So you put in a keyword and it'll show you all the images on the first page. Product brand checker, it checks the first 5 pages. It does take a while, so I won't run it right now, but you just put your URL in and whatever keyword you're checking, and it'll show you approximately what position it's at on TPT. The last is a description generator. This one also needs to be reworked a little bit. But you put in your inputs, describe your product, the type of resource, what type of keywords you would use. And it will kind of give a template for you to work on. It will give you an engaging snippet that will kind of help you sell to your customer, but then kind of like a template that you can use to craft the rest of your description. So just trying to do a little of the heavy lifting there, but yeah, those are all the tools. The trending tool, I'm adding another feature to add more trending, so you can look at certain time frames, say, okay, what keywords are popular in May, and get a huge list of all of them, and then see, because for whether you're planning seasonal products or just getting ideas. So that's kind of what's in SellerSpy.